Hello, everyone. Hi, good evening, good afternoon. I'm going to Hello, everyone. Hi, good evening, good afternoon. Please hit that like button as you come in. Please hit that like button. How is everyone doing? Let us know in the chat. How are you doing? How are you feeling tonight? Or this evening, depending on wherever it is that you're listening to us from. Please hit that like button, everybody. I'm going to give you guys some time to come in whilst we just chit chat a little bit. But yeah, guys, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. To give you guys some context, we are going to be talking about some of the things that Miss Wanda had to say recently. We're also going to be talking about yeah, Miss Wonder, what she had to say about the rumors about Marceau allegedly stepping out. So we're going to talk about that as well. She did have some other bits to say about Ari and Curry as well, so we will be talking about that as well. And we will be discussing some Real Housewives of Potomac tea. Giselle and Robin have finally addressed Wendy's arrest, so we will be talking about that as well. We're also going to be talking about anything else that does come up. Um, we're also going to talk a little bit about Real Housewives of Potomac. So yeah, let us know in the chat. How are you feeling? What are you drinking tonight? Yeah, how are you feeling and what are you drinking tonight? So, and you've heard Tommy. Tommy saying, please hit the like and share button, everyone. Please do that for us as you come in. First thing, just hit that like button as you come in. And let us know how you're doing and let us know what you're drinking tonight. So Tommy is saying she's feeling tired. Girl, I can relate to that. I've literally spent most of today in bed. I actually got some bad news today, so I wasn't really feeling well today at all. I almost even like canceled the live, but I was like, do you know what? I'm not feeling good. But I know I'm gonna have fun with you guys because you guys always manage to cheer me up. So I'm here. Um, but yeah, so I'm here. We'll have fun regardless. Hopefully you guys cheer me up and we have good banter tonight and just have a good time regardless. But yeah, thank you so much guys for joining in. Evening Bajan, evening. I hope you're doing well. Glad to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing good. Um, Tommy is having water tonight, girl. I'm low key partly with you, and I say partly because I have other drinks as well. So I have a mango and passion fruit smoothie but I ended up putting it in the freezer because I wanted it to be really cold. And now it's frozen. So there's no way I'm going to drink it whilst on this live. So I settled for an ulti malt. So that's what I'm having tonight. Hey Lady Pooh, how are you? So good to see you tonight. I'm glad you could join us. Tommy says, I'm so sorry. Honestly, I thank you. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I think the biggest frustration that I've had is the fact that for a while I had been complaining to the doctors that about like this particular thing that has been going on with me, and they kept gaslighting me and saying like nothing is wrong. I would ask for like specialist scans and stuff like that and appointments and stuff, and they just kept gaslighting me and saying that they think I'm fine. And turns out I'm not, right? And so what ended up happening was I ended up paying privately to get an MRI scan done, and then the MRI came with all sorts of things. So, just full transparency, that's what's going on with me tonight, but I will be fine. I'm hanging with you guys. You guys will make me feel better anyway. So thank you for joining. Tommy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Bashan says, I'm chilling as it's so cold here in England at the moment. Has a super malt. Oh, sis, it is really cold, to be completely honest. I don't even know if you're a sis, but I just assume Bashan means, let us know if you're a sis or a guy. It would be cool to know. But yeah, like, yeah, it is a bit cold today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in England as well, and it's bloody cold. So yeah. Sorry to hear that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Thank you, Anne Green. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think for me, the first step is knowing what it is. And so then I can then start looking into treatments. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Bashan says, have a flat Coke. I just might, but I don't have Coke at home. So maybe I need to get one, like, I need to order a Coke and just leave it so I can have a flat Coke. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining tonight. Let's start with Miss Wanda's shenanigans. Just because I feel like, why not? Let's start with Miss Wanda. So first of all, we cite our sources. So shout out to Shows, Style, and Spirit. Because sis always manages to catch Wanda's life, and I really appreciate that because sis is doing the work for all of us, and I really, really appreciate that. So this is the bit that I think that I got from that, right? I will say. So she kind of refers and talks a little bit about Melody winning the case. And I was like, okay, so she referred to Melody as old girl. I don't know. I personally don't really like when people refer to people with like random names, or at least, it wasn't like a rude, bitch, thing that was said. But old girl, whatever, that's like just by the way. But her opinion about the reason she feels like not Wendy, Jesus, Wendy Osefo is in my head. The reason why she feels like Melody won the case is because AL didn't have a lawyer, and she was basically trying to insinuate that Melody is that girl in Huntsville. She's basically well known in Huntsville, so of course she's going to win a case against somebody like AL who does not have a lawyer representing him in Huntsville. She also said she knows that people always think, like, she says, negative stuff about Mel, but she has nothing negative to say, and that she had heard about months ago that Mel had won. But then he appealed, and then she won again. So I just think it's just one of those things where Wanda will do, if she does nothing else, she will always have Melody in her mouth. She will always be saying something about Melody. That's just facts. That's just what she does. That is Miss Wanda for you. So I will say I'm not surprised at all about that. I do think I'm like, sis, were you in court? How do you know that it's because he didn't have a lawyer? How do you know for certain that that's what happened? So I'm just like, unless you were in court and this was your perspective as to what happened, then I'm not really going to take Wanda's experience as law. I'm not really going to take what she's saying as this is really what happened for me. But I don't know what you guys think about that. Um I do think one thing I will agree with her on is when she said Melody is that girl, Melody is that girl. Okay? And she's absolutely that girl in Huntsville. So I will have to agree with her on that point. I think if I don't agree with Wanda about anything else, that particular point, I agree with Wanda about 110% on that. I will completely say that. And but I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. AL did say he's not appealing anymore, whatever. So I'm guessing that that is probably going to be the end of it. Tommy says, "Wow, you will get better." Amen to that. Thank you so much. I appreciate the prayers. Thank you. Now that Rasputia bumping out her gums. Oh, she cannot keep her mouth closed. She cannot keep her mouth closed. She is always going to say something. Look, I feel like she low-key can't help herself. She can't help herself. She is going to bump those gums, especially when it's like an opportunity to talk about Mel. I don't think she takes that for granted. She will run any opportunity to talk about Mel, she will take it. And I think it's because she knows that we will give her the views. And I'm not even gonna lie, we will give her the views because we will be watching to see what she says about Mel. So I guess we are low-key part of the problem, but yeah, like I'm this is our job, right? So I think for people like us and Show Style and Spirit, this is our job, right? So we have to cover and give you guys the news. But I suspect that people like us that are watching this stuff are why she keeps doing it. Because also remember, if she's getting the view, she probably doesn't care because she's like, yo, I'm getting y'all to come watch my stuff. So I'm winning. But it's like, yo, we're watching it so we can also give the commentary to the people. So do with that what you will. AA says, "Hey everyone, hello, hello, how are you? Hope you're good." Tommy says, "Why is she trying to downplay Mel's win?" I agree. I definitely think that that is what she's trying to do. She is probably like, well, if I make it seem like there's some sort of nepotism and like, oh, people like Mel or people know her in this area, and that is why she won. It's like, girl, how about maybe the judge heard the evidence and figured that okay, Mel, it was Mel that was winning this one. Like, unless, and this is why I say, like, unless she was physically in that courtroom, and I don't get the impression that she was. I think it's just like even when she tries to like big up Mel, low key, it always feels like she is still trying to downplay Mel in some way, shape, or fashion. I honestly don't think she can help herself. I think there's some there's some deep rooted issues there. I don't think she's ever gonna let it go. I just think that's who Miss Wonder is. Maybe she's like Loki just fixated on Mel, and that's just what that is. She did also talk about Arian Curry, interestingly enough. So you guys know that Arian posted on her story insinuating that Marceau was bending over and being on all fours doing some nasty stuff. I better say allegedly. Where's my banner? Allegedly. Okay, this is her words, not mine. And Wanda is finally addressing that. She's basically saying she feels like Coleslaw is a liar and what she said about Marceau is not true. She has been lying since the beginning of the show. And so I'm like, okay, this is the thing I always find funny when it comes to Wanda and who she believes is lying. My thing is always, so Arian is lying when it has to do with Marceau or Tisha, but when it has to do with Mel, everybody's telling the truth and Mel is this, Mel is that. But the moment it starts, the focus is on your son in law, next thing everyone is lying. And it's like, how did we get here in the first place? Weren't you the same person that was insinuating that Marceau was stepping out on your daughter? and you brought it to the show where you were trying to confront Marceau. You brought it to us. None of us brought it to you. None of us was like in the comments dragging you about it. You decided to bring that over here. You brought that over to Love and Marriage Huntsville, and you gave the impression that you basically get the impression that, oh, all is, you know, Marceau is stepping out on Tisha. And so the rest of us started to wonder, is this true? And then people started asking questions. So it's like, you started it. You were the one that piqued our interest. You were the one that had us out here now wondering whether or not this man is really cheating. You know, that was none of our business, but you made it our business. And now that it's our business and everybody wants to talk about it and bring it up whenever we get the opportunity, you don't want us to bring it up. And that's what it really feels like. It just feels like you want us you want to stir it up, and then now when everyone is now bringing it up, you want to be like, oh, you guys, we've moved on from this is old news, why are you still bringing it up? And it's like, dude, you started it, and you can't just think that you can just be calling off people whenever you feel like it. Like, oh, have people out here fighting your battles, being on Marceau's neck, and then right after you can be like, guys, stop, Marceau has repented. Like, chill. you know Rasputia is upset because she knows that Rasputia Jr. wouldn't be against Marceau if they divorce. Ah. To be honest, I feel like I don't think Tisha is going anywhere. I don't think Tisha is going anywhere. I don't think she has any intentions. And I feel like low key, Wanda as her mama should also know that she does not have any intentions of going anywhere. So it's like, if you don't have any intentions of going anywhere, what are we really doing? What are we doing? There's no need. Let's just forget about the whole cheating thing. Don't ever bring it up again. Let's all act like it never happened. Let everyone move forward gracefully. But it's like you keep bringing it up every single opportunity that you get, and it's like, whose fault is that? You have nobody to blame but yourself. That is on you, ma'am. Was it season one when they were at some function and Marceau was sniffing around some woman and Rasputia Jr. was crying? Was that season one, or was that like? Because I remember there was a thing with this baddie from, I think, Ready to Love, and she was in a red dress, if I'm not mistaken. And I think her and Marceau were interacting, and the internet went crazy. And I think Tisha also went crazy about it, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one I feel like I remember. I'm not sure I remember the one in season one. I don't think. Is that the same one you're talking about, Bajan? Was that the same one you're talking about? Because yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I feel like the one I remember was this girl from Ready to Love. I can't remember what her name was, but she had such a banging body and she was a pretty girl. And I remember she was wearing a red lipstick. I think it was at the premiere of one of the OWN shows, and she was there, and her and Marceau were interacting. Yes. Yeah. Don't worry, girl. I got it. But yeah, yes, Lady in Red. Yes. I don't think it was season one, but yeah, I think it was at a premiere party, or was it the launch of something? And they had the event. I think it was an own event, and that girl in red had her in chokehold. Ooh, Alf Dallas. Hey, girl. Her name was Tyra. Ooh, was it? She was a baddie. I remember her from not Love and Hip Hop, Ready to Love. She was, yeah, she was always just giving us the looks, firecracker as well. She was just good, like, good entertaining, like a good entertaining girl on TV. But yeah, I think even Tisha knew she was bad to the bone because Tisha was not pleased with all of that. If I remember correctly, she was not happy about that. But yeah, thanks Al for keeping us straight. Hello, hi, you're welcome, welcome. But yeah, it's just like for real, though. I personally think that Tisha Tisha is probably one of those people, and I don't blame her because if there's always been all these speculations about your man cheating, even if you've never caught him, but then there's so much speculation about your man cheating, you will low key believe that it is true. You will low key believe that it is true, or there is some truth to it. So I don't blame her. When she sorry, my mom just called me, and if I don't call her back, she's gonna think I'm I'm upset about the news. So let me just text her saying I'll call you back on live now. All right. So I feel like yeah, because if I do not call her, if I don't call her back, she might show up at the door on my doorstep. So yeah, let me just text her so she knows I'm good. Yeah. Anyway, so I feel like Loki, Tisha knows that this man is probably out here doing something. She can't prove it because he probably hides it very well. Allegedly, let me say alleged. So she probably thinks that he may be doing something, but she has no way of proving it. And I think it's harder because if you can't prove that this man is cheating, of course, you're not going to leave your husband or do anything. Now, I don't really think that she's going to leave even if she knew he was stepping out. This is just my personal opinion. As long as it's not publicized, as long as it wasn't made to be a huge public spectacle that she cannot continue to be able to lie about. I think if Marceau was to do something where publicly there was like screenshots, there was voice notes, there was images of him and this alleged person out and about, not just out and about, kissing, doing like salacious stuff, I feel like she may have to leave him then, only because she likes to create this perfect image of he has never stepped out of me, we never had no issues with infidelity. She's always said that, right? And it's one thing to say it because there's no obvious proof that like can be put straight in her face in front of all of us. For her to be able to continue to push that lie, well, what I believe is a lie. I don't know for certain, but what I believe is a lie. So I just think that that's probably her way of like pushing it and ensuring, being like, no, we got to make sure, you know, it's her way of like pushing the narrative that whatever Marceau does, I do not want to see it. And I think that's really what it is. It's like pushing it as like, as long as I don't see it, as long as the public doesn't see it, then for her it's all good. That's the vibe that I get. I think everything is just like the moment the public notice and realize, I feel like, and we have proof, I think that she will have no choice but to actually be confronted with it. But at the moment, she's being able to live in denial because Marceau did not make it obvious. I think if Marceau was cheating the way Martell was cheating, then there's no way she can hide because there is an obvious there's obvious receipts of your cheating. The BMW, the baby, the people seeing you outside, the Aryan calling on the phone, So there's so many different examples, but I don't think Tisha is ever going to get that because I don't think Marceau is that kind of guy either way. I feel like Marceau, if Marceau was ever going to cheat, I don't think Marceau is going to be out here cheating with women who don't have something to lose. I just don't get that impression. I think Marceau has enough sense to know if I want to stay in this relationship and show up, and if I want to stay in this relationship, at least maintain that public front of being married, then I'm going to just need to like suck it up and make sure that whatever I'm doing never comes out publicly. And I think that's where Marceau would be personally. Bab says, look up the word foolish and you see Wanda's face. Oh my gosh. Well, I will. You're not wrong. Alf says, Tisha was in a fit about Marceau speaking to Tyra. Tisha literally broke out crying. Yes. And I feel like the fact that she got to the point of crying tells me that this lady believes that this man is stepping out. She believes that he's stepping out. She just doesn't want us to know that he is stepping out allegedly. I feel like that's all it is. Because why are you out here crying because he's talking to a woman? I can't imagine seeing my man talking to somebody. And bear in mind that I feel like this, let's say the man is faithful and never cheated on me, never gave me a reason to suspect he's out here doing nothing. And then I'm out here all of a sudden crying because he's talking to a woman. No matter what kind of woman it is, she could be Kelly Rowland, and Kelly Rowland is beautiful, right? She could be Kelly Rowland, and I'm not going to be out here crying because she's talking to my man, because I'll be thinking that's my man. He's never given me any reason to suspect him. He's always very loyal. I never had to worry about him. So I would be like, cool. Even if I joined the conversation, I'd be like, oh, hey, girl, hey, you look good. You know, with confidence, right? Because I know that my man ain't that type of guy. But if I'm not sure my man is that type of guy, or if I had, first of all, it wouldn't be my man, but if I had any sort of suspicions that this man was stepping out, I would be like, if I see him talking to somebody, yes, of course, I would be rattled because I'm thinking he's about to cheat or he's cheating already, right? And had the audacity to bring the side chick over here. But that's why I feel like that particular scene definitely, to me, I feel like that particular scene showed the gaps in what Tisha was telling us, because there's no way a faithful, loving man that loves you down, that is always doing all these things and coming home, you see him talking to a babe and your first reaction is to be in tears. Like, girl, no. That gives me the impression you done seen something, you have been through some stuff, but you don't want the rest of us to know that you have been through some stuff. And so that will be a hill that you're willing to die on. Now, before we continue, guys, the likes are not matching the amount of people in the chat. So please hit that like button, smash it, hit that like button, hit that share button. Let the people know that we are live, please, and thank you. Bajim says, no disrespect, but the woman that peasant and pauper did the interview with the alleged mistress of Marceau. Where she? Where was the other 19? Because Pauper said Marceau had 20 women. Exactly. It's like, where are the 20 women's? Where are the 20 women? Where are the people? Like, you only had one, and out of the one, where are the pictures? You couldn't even attach pictures of them together, pictures of them in the bed, pictures of them sitting on the couch laid up next to each other. Like, no receipts were provided. And this is why I feel like it was a huge fail on Martell's part. It's like, if you're going to bring an interview like that, make sure the receipts are receipting. Make sure there's actually proof, not somebody who does not seem very credible, especially because they're sitting down with you, an area, and who clearly are not credible, to then discuss how they feel like somebody cheated, right? So it's like, we need to see some receipts. Don't just be out here being like, oh yeah, we were in Vegas together. Okay, proof. Show a clip of you guys in Vegas. Is there like a location stamp or something? Something. So it wasn't really believable. And you said there are 20 women and you've only interviewed one and you couldn't even successfully run that story. It's like, how did people leave that interview actually feeling like they like Marceau more? Or how can people leave the interview feeling more confused as to whether or not you even cheated? It's like, doesn't make any sense, right? So, yeah, that is absolutely very, very odd. Very, very odd to me. Mm-mm. I think he has cheated, but taken it out of Huntsville. I think so too. I think so too. Now, we don't know for a fact, alleged and all, but I do think so too. I do think that there was something with that picture of the back that got like exposed a while back, and he was trying to claim that he was just in his hotel, but it's like, who took the picture? Because you sure did not set up a tripod to take a picture of your back. And I know Chris Fletcher ain't taking no picture of your back. So I feel like whoever it is that took that picture just of course has something to lose, so they're not coming out. But I think they maybe low-key use that to tell him like, yo, I have some things on you, so you better keep me happy. This is just speculation. But that's what I would think. Is like if somebody took that picture of his back, who took the picture of the back? It has to be somebody, and there's no way on earth anybody would tell me it was Chris Fletcher. No chance. No chance it was Chris Fletcher taking a picture of a man's back. Which means it was probably a woman, right? And why is it that a picture of his back came out and then all of a sudden nothing else came back? Because I personally feel, speculation, he probably went over to that person and was like, yo, please don't don't expose me like this. Please don't say nothing about my back. Like, don't put no pictures out. Like, how can I keep you happy? That this is what I think, because I just don't understand how the back happened and that was the end of the story about the back. It's just all shocking to me. Rasputia Jr. asked No Neck Nell about cheating when her and Marceau met up with Nell and her husband. Why ask Nell that? That is a very, very good question. If he had never done nothing, if he is this faithful person that Wanda wants us to believe, why? Why would she be asking? And the way she was asking, it was giving she wanted to learn. It's like you want to learn about cheating, but you've never experienced cheating. You want to learn how to handle how they survived infidelity, but you've never cheated and he's never cheated. So it's like, why are you trying to know? Are you just trying to learn so you can take notes for when it happens? I found that very, very weird. And it's interesting because that was also what Nell picked up on. Because I remember, I think in her confessional, she was talking about how the way Tisha was asking, it was almost like she was asking to know because maybe that's something that they're going through. But my thing is, then why lie? Nobody is saying that admits that this person has cheated. But it's like, why lie? Why lie? What is the reason? Right? Like, you don't need to say you cheated, just say nothing about it, right? But the fact that you keep saying, I've never experienced infidelity in my marriage, I never experienced infidelity, it's like, girl, rest. A lot of people have, right? Nell stayed in her relationship despite having infidelity in her marriage. You don't see that being the topic of conversation all of the time. Everyone has let that go. The only reason that this keeps being brought up is because Tisha refused to let that go. Tisha keeps bringing it up about she had never experienced no infidelity. And the thing is that, girl, if you say you've never experienced no infidelity, then what are we supposed to do? If you keep showing the cracks, it's like, if that's your story and you want to stick to it, then I don't know what to tell you. Good evening, Super 3701. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey. How are you? Good evening. I believe it. That girl was a baddie when that allegedly happened. Exactly. It's just like, definitely it's not adding up. And apparently there was a picture. I think people are saying like when they checked the old pictures of the girl is when they really felt like it could have happened because the girl used to look good. I guess COVID happened to her, but um apparently she used to look good. The thing is, I actually don't think she's lying about certain things, right? I do think some of the things she says are inflated, but I don't think she's lying about having something allegedly to do with Marceau, because I don't remember Marceau outrightly denying it, right? I just think the interview was a joke, right? I just think the way everything was handled was a joke. It's like, you guys have to do better. If you're going to do all of this, plug some receipts in it so that people can actually see, like, oh, okay, this actually happened. She was in Vegas. Show the flight records that show the dates of when it was in Vegas, right? Before long, people will be able to do some investigation to figure out what time was he in Vegas, when the people was Marceau ever in Vegas around the same time, let the people do the work. But there were no receipts given to allow us to do any investigations, right? And so I just think like they did a very, very terrible job of that interview. I think it's an example of like why you should let the experts do something. If you don't know how to do it, let the experts do it. Or figure out and learn how to do it before you put a camera in front of yourself and start filming and recording, right? I think they probably thought like that interview was going to change things for them and they were going to be like a YouTube sensation. But the people were disappointed because the people expected the story to be all meshed well and people wanted to see evidence because anyone can say anything, right? That doesn't make it true, especially if we're saying that the girl looks like this now, right? They could have put pictures of the girl when she was looking like a baddie. They could have put um at least she means to tell me, doesn't she have one picture with Marceau and with Maurice that she could have added as evidence? These are the things that I would expect at the very barest minimum that they should have included in the interview, which is why I feel like they played themselves because it doesn't make any sense to me. Tommy says that interview was a joke and was. Absolutely was. I feel like that interview is one of those things where it was such a cringe-worthy interview where I thought this might stay with me for a long time. Like, when they were trying to be cute and it was like, oh, we did things together. We did things together. I was like, girl, where? And he's like, what did we do? And it just felt like they were trying to sell this, we're a package deal, we're a team, we get on so well, we have good banter, but it was not working well at all. Like they were not meshing well enough at all. And I was just like, one of these days we need to have another watch party for it and Kiki again. Do you guys know if her channel is monetized? Because I'm like, I don't want her copyrighting my ish, but low-key, I want to go back and like rewatch it because I feel like there were some parts of it that I think have stayed with me for a long time. But yeah, I remember Arian was asking Martell what he told Mel when he was cheating on her. Exactly, like it's like dude. And then she also seemed to be asking, what did you do in Vegas? Did you do anything with them? I'm like, are you guys okay? Are we talking about what he did in Vegas, or are we talking about what Marceau allegedly did in Vegas? Like, what is going on? You guys could not have had a united front and discussed your issues prior to being on screen. I know they were trying to make it seem like it was some banter between them, but it just wasn't working. They weren't meshing very well. I don't know. Every time I see Martell, I see a fall from grace. And I know it's getting a little deep, but I see a fall from grace. And I say that because it's like the way Martell looked standing next to Mel versus the way he now looks standing next or sitting next to Arion, a completely, completely different person. He looks different, his energy is different. Everything about him has changed. And I'm just like, how do you get to that point, sir? How do you play yourself to the point where you lose your family? And now you're out here doing an interview with your side chick turned whatever you want to call her now. And now she's asking you, what did you tell Mel when you were cheating? And I was like, are you okay? Are you all okay? Absolutely bonkers. Tommy has said, click the like button. We only have 34 likes. Guys, please hit that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it, smash it. If you guys don't want me to start singing, smash the like button, smash the like button. No, but seriously, don't let me start like making up songs in my head. Please hit that like button. The same with Kimmy and Mr. Potato Head when he had lipstick on his lips. This was a whole that was a whole relay race with the two of them. Absolutely. It was just like, okay, so does he have red lipstick or not? Like, why are we dancing in circles? Why are we talking around the same subject over and over again? It just felt like everyone was just dancing around it. Like, I did not, for the life of me, I just did not get it. I was like, can we just, can we just tell the truth? Or just say, like, no, it wasn't right and cut it out, right? Instead, it's the gaslighting and then dancing around the subject, like, oh, there was not this. And then when they were trying to tell the story about what happened and whether Kimi went home, and then it's like, okay, so Kimi went home, but then she went to whatever credit one to look for him. Like, the story was just not adding up, and it was like I felt like I was losing brain cells just listening to the story, because I just didn't understand, like, what are you saying, guys? Like, did this happen? Did this not happen? Like, it was just so weird to me. I think Martell was with her too. Remember, he said they had the same chicks, but they went behind him. Yes, I remember that. But I think the girl also said that Martell didn't do anything, and Martell was a gentleman and he didn't do anything. Now, let me be clear. That I don't personally feel that if Martell had done something, the girl would have confessed it in front of Aaron. I don't for a second believe that anyway. So you may be right. Maybe indeed that's what he did. Maybe indeed that's what happened. Tommy says, Ariane asked the lady whether Marceau took her on dates because when she and Martell were cheating, they went on dates. Yes, that is exactly. Tommy, why do you know all of this interview? Tommy seems to remember everything, honey. Tommy is like, I remember. But yeah, you're right. Because it was like, I'm like, why are you asking, like, why are you asking this lady about dates? This lady said it was just hit it and quit it, really. But she used the opportunity to tell us about how they were doing certain dates and they were out and people were seeing them in the streets. I'm like, girl, I've never ever heard somebody so proud to be a side chick. Ever. Usually, right? A lot of side chicks are very, I don't want to say respectful, but they come across a little bit respectful, right? They understand that they're a side chick, they respect that position. They don't try to be in the wife's face or try to be outside publicly going on dates. It's like, how are you going on dates when you are with a married man? These ain't like a regular boyfriend. This is a married man. And you are outside in the same city going on dates. That is so disrespectful, especially considering how popular Mel and Martell were in the Huntsville area. The fact that he was still over there doing all those dates, very, very weird to me. Although I think she also gave the impression that they traveled as well. So maybe they were outside stepping out to do their nonsense. Tommy says, I'd love for us to watch it, please. The interview is too hilarious. Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely think we should rewatch it as well. I definitely need to go back and watch it. And yeah, one day we'll have a watch party. Everyone bring popcorn and a drink or something, and we will have a blast watching it. Maybe that might even be something that we can do with the members only live of rewatching it and kicking about it. That could be fun as well. Um I believe they all tricked with her, but tried to create a story like she had a relationship with Aso, and that's what wasn't believable. Yes, exactly. I feel like I would have appreciated if it was just like, okay, it was just a thing. We had a few link ups. We did what we had to do. He invited me to this. I did this. But the fact that it was made to seem like it was more than what it was, yes, I feel like that's also a flaw. Um, I don't think that anyone truly believed that Marcel was in a relationship with that girlie. And I think what also did not help was the way people perceived how she looked. Now, oh, sorry, guys. Oh, dear. Oh, I think I'm going for one more. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So I think that the way people sort of perceived the way she looked, her vibe, they were probably thinking like, Maso ain't gonna be in a relationship with a baby like that. Maybe he hit it once or twice, but like in a relationship. So that wasn't believable. And I also don't know if people necessarily believed when she put Maurice into it and said that Marceau and Maurice hit it. I just think that's nasty because it's like you hitting it right after your brother or with your brother. That is nasty work. Ew. Mm-mm-mm. I wonder when Peasant was promoting his wine if they all pulled straws to see who would get who because it was all women all over the place. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you noticed too. I was just like, why is it all women? And this is what made me feel like there are some women that are thirsty. They're thirst buckets. And I say that even as a girl's girl. I'm like, I root for my girlies, but I feel like there's some women that are thirst buckets. Because why, after everything you know about Martell and his shenanigans, why are you outside so publicly with him at his event? And I was just like, you will not pay me to go to that kind of event unless I'm covering to bring some news for you guys. Like, but as a regular schmegular, what would I be doing at an event with Martell Holt? And then you look around and it's just like everyone, majority of the people were women. So yeah, it's given, you know, looking for your next hookup, like a little bit of speed dating. That's what it was looking like. But yeah, the whole, honestly, that event leaves me in shambles because I remember, like, first, what was he wearing? That speech that he was given was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. It took him a while to even get to the point where he could speak. And I'm like, honey, sir, this is about your business. This is not, nobody's even saying, you could have kept the people that were invited to a small number if you knew that you are scared of public speaking. You could have done all of that, but no. Mm-mm. You had a bunch of people and you couldn't speak and you were so tongue tied at your event. That is just weird. And Green says, well, they are dumb and dumber. Yep. The dumbs unite. Absolutely. And I guess maybe that's why it works for them in their relationship because it's like, you both are so dumb. I don't even know who's worse. So I guess maybe that's why the relationship works because if it was one really sensible person versus someone that isn't sensible, it would be a struggle, which we can see because see Martell versus Martell and Melody, right? Melody was the smart one. Martell is who Martell is, right? So of course it didn't work out. Very, very sad. But yeah, Anne says, waterfall. I was thinking the same thing about Martell just yesterday. Sad. Absolutely. Every time it comes to mind, I honestly just see a fall from grace. And I'm so sad because I'm like, life could have been so much better for you, Martell. Things could have been so different for you. Yet you chose the worst path. You chose the path that you should have stayed away from and avoided at all cost. That's where you ended up at. And you have no one to blame but yourself. Absolutely sad. Wanda be stating Marceau been cheating since he met Tisha. Our own mama thinks he cheats. Yes, absolutely. But then our own mama also gaslights us at every opportunity that she gets, making it seem like we want Marceau to be cheating so bad. And it's like, no, we do not want Marceau to be cheating. You were the one who made it seem like he was out here cheating. And so now it's like, what are we supposed to do with that? You made it seem like he was out here just being no good for anything, right? And now that we think that he's doing that, you're like, oh no, no, you know? And so apparently with the whole mystery woman that, there's a photo going around allegedly about Marceau with a mystery woman. So Wanda was basically talking about how she's just a friend. She was just talking to him. There ain't nothing there. And Marceau ain't gonna do anything crazy like that. Marceau knows better. Marceau knows the kind of person she is. Um, if the girl was from like somewhere else or North Carolina, should have probably thought, okay, maybe. Um, but Marceau will not mess this up. So she kept on going on about like how, Marceau basically knows her. Marceau ain't gonna do that. She will F him up. Kind of that was the vibe she was giving anyway, that she would treat him if he was out here stepping out. And so I'm just like, but Wanda, what are you going to do though? What are you going to do? Because you did not do anything about the so-called picture of Marceau in a bed. All we had was chatter and then nothing else. So I don't think Marceau is scared of you or anything that you will be doing to him because he knows it's all BS anyway. So I don't I don't peg Marceau as someone that is scared of Wanda. I'm gonna just say that. Go out on a limb and say that I don't believe for a second that Marceau is scared of Miss Wanda. Mm-mm. Tommy says, I watched it again recently just for laughs. So you're talking about the interview that Martell and the side chicks had? Side chick competition. I wonder who is in first place. I'll give Arian side chick because it's like, how many years has she been a side chick for? Very, very long. So yeah, Arian is definitely the ruling side chick. She definitely wanted to take Martell away from Mel from day one. She's a shameless side chick. Absolutely. I think that it was an ego boost for her. I think to be able to say, yeah, I took your man wants me, your man comes home to me, your man da da da. But I have no one to blame but Martell because I'm like, Martell gave her that impression that she was irreplaceable. Martell gave her the impression that he was out here loving on her, right? Martell gave out that impression about his wife. So yeah, I blame Martell for that. That's exactly, I feel like that's all it is. Like, if he put her in her place and was like, you're a side chick, don't you ever call my wife. If you don't want to be here, then you go. Don't you ever talk to my wife again. The day you do that is the day I cut you off, financially and otherwise. She would have stayed in her side chick place. But this one he chose is absolutely shameless. Absolutely shameless. Super says Aaron should have been more concerned that Martell would know how to contact a woman that was supposedly with Marceau all these years later. Ooh, the freaking plot twist. Super, that is a very good point. Why would Martell be keeping in touch with this woman? Especially if she doesn't even look like what she looked like previously. How did he know it was still her? How did he find her? Mm-mm-mm. These are very, very good questions. Bab said, Maso, just don't get caught. Yep, don't get caught, because if you get caught and publicly, Tisha would have to address it. She can't continue to lie in our faces. I think it's easy for her to lie because you make it easy, sir. Allegedly. Until you give some sort of proper proof, then I don't think she's going to do anything. But didn't Marceau choose through Rasputia's junior family and ended up with her? Whoa. Oh, did he? Oh, all about the choo choo train. Oh my god. Really? Ooh, that would be nasty work. If that is true, that will be nasty work. Mm-mm-mm. Not the side chick competition. The side chicks unite, honey. Marceau is super smart not to catch feelings for none of his 3 or 4s, but Martell caught feelings for a professional 3 or 4. I couldn't have said it any better. I think you hit the nail right there on the head. I think I do agree that Marceau is smart enough. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Martell say something about they told me not to choose somebody that has something to lose or something? Yep. If that's really what they told you, you definitely went against the advice. It's like they gave you smart advice and you took it and did whatever you felt like doing. And now look at you. You have nobody to blame but yourself, sir. When he messed up his foot playing American football and Marceau and Potato Head was telling him he was wrong because he had 2 phones, they warned him. But if you can't hear, you must. But if you can't hear, you must feel. Mm, that is loud. When he messed up his foot playing American football, Marceau and Potato Head was telling him he was wrong because he had 2 phones. They warned him. Yep, they did. They did. They warned him, but he did not listen. Like, there's always someone that thinks they're smarter than the program, and I think that's Martell. Martell thought he was smarter than the program. Martell thought he could keep his side chick in check, but that was no to all of that. Martell probably thought he could keep getting her to delete, trigger warning, delete the baby. He probably thought he could do it again because allegedly she did that for him before. So he probably thought, like, I could continue to do whatever I want and she's not going to get pregnant, or if she does, she's going to do what she needs to do. And this time around, Arian said, no, I ain't doing that again. Right? And it's just one of those things where it's like they warned you, you did not want to hear, and look at your life now. They're barely even showing him on Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's like, how many scenes have you guys really have they had that he was on the show? He was barely in the show, right? So it's like he's definitely been weaned off the show little by little because they're barely showing him. And if he and Marcel are not cool, and he and Marcel are not filming together, then that means there are no like group things where he's there, or if he's there, he's probably not getting enough attention because Marcel is probably not trying to address it again. Then it's like, what then happens if he's not getting enough camera time? Then how much is he really getting paid? Right? So it's just like you fumbled everything. Like, when you think about fumbling the bag, think about Martell Holt. That is the true explanation, true description of fumbling the bag. You fumbled the bag, you fumbled your family, you fumbled the bag. Now look at you. It's like, what's left for you, right? And because there of the no accountability, there's no movement, there's no like switching things, changing things. It's like w- you're stuck, really. All those girls, all those guys were and are cheating. Wanda and Tisha and Kimi know it too, allegedly. But yes, I feel like a lot of them, I feel like all of them are or have in the past allegedly stepped out. um I think that everybody knows it, But because they can't prove it, it's easy to be in denial when you can't prove something. If there was like concrete proof, then they would have to admit that they've stayed with a man that cheated. But because there is no concrete proof, then it's like you can keep acting like, oh, well, no, well, we're not going to believe what social media says, all that kind of stuff. Because what else are you going to say, right? So it's just what that is. Coleslaw has never heard of a crime of passion. Goes to show how dumb she is. Rasputia would know, ain't she got a husband and a side cockerel? Who knows? Yeah, she did say she had a husband and a side dude, right? So it's like, if you can have that, why can't your son-in-law have that as well? Nobody really cares about them. Peasant forgets she's getting older, a few more years, and she's going to be a side hen. And he is going to move on to the next one, honey. He is going to move on to the next one. Probably a young thing. Although, if you're going to move on to the young thing, you're probably going to need some more money. So maybe you need to start taking more episodes on. I don't know how you're going to fix things with the production and the cast members so that you can be on the show a little bit more, so you can get paid a little bit more. But so far it ain't looking good financially, that is, because if you're looking for a younger side chick, you're going to need the funds for it. Sprinkle sprinkle. She gonna need the funds. Peasant messed up and won't take accountability. He need a good ass whooping. Yep, but he ain't gonna get it from his mama. He's not gonna get it from any of his family members. So he's gonna have to give it to himself eventually, or life will have to give him a good ass whooping for him to kind of get and trace his steps and actually beg for forgiveness. There's some things that you do to people, yeah, and it's not that they did anything to you or cursed you, but what you did was so bad. What you did was so bad that you started to reap just bad karma for what you did. And I feel like he's going through that season where he's getting whooped from different angles. And until he really truly repents and he fully takes accountability and just says, you know what, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done what I did. I apologize. I'm sorry. And, that's that. Then things can get resolved. But yeah. Exactly. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yep. If you can be out here with a side dude and a husband, then your son-in-law can be out here with a wife and her side chick, right? Shouldn't be bad. Get some bigger suits. Absolutely. Get some new suits, Martell. The suits are too tight, sir. Get some suits. The other thing she did say was if she was Arian Curry's parent, she would step in and Martell would not be able to do Arian the way he has done her. This is the thing I always find very shocking. Wanda goes through phases with Arian, right? And for somebody that has said so many outrageous, outlandish things about Marceau, it's like, why do you keep always seem to have like a soft spot for Arian? That is something that I feel like is the weirdest thing. Because she was basically saying, like, if Arian was her daughter, she would have left the situation with Martell a long time ago, and things would not have gotten as deep as they have gotten, and all of that. She would not let her get into a hole and then be having to try and pull her out. Just stuff along those lines that was just giving the impression that if she was Arian's mom or whatever, she would step in and make sure that she left the situation with Martell a long time ago. But my thing is like, okay, fine, that's how you feel about Arian. I get it. Although I really don't understand how you always seem to have all these sweet sweet perspective and advice when it comes to Arian, but when it comes to Mel, that ain't did nothing to you. We can't say the same thing, right? But it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, you know, if you were Arian's parent, you would do this. And it's like, girl, why so much empathy? Wasn't she talking about Marcel being bent over at Black? Like, or being on all fours at Black, allegedly. So it's like, I just don't get it. I just don't get that, right? If you're really like riding for your family, why would you still be talking about Aaron in that way? That's what I found a little bit weird for me. But if it was Melody, as soon as Melody gets in the conversation, she finds a way to shade her. Even with her win at court, okay, let's just be happy for the woman and keep it moving. No. Let's insinuate that because she knows people in Huntsville, you know, and him not having a lawyer, that's why she got away with it. So it's like, really, what are we doing? What are we doing? Guys, thank you so much for those who have just joined in. Please hit that like button as you come in. Please hit that like button. Thank you very much. Okay. Of course, she talked a little bit about she knows Tisha, she would never lead her wrong. And she tried to give the impression she doesn't really interfere, but like sometimes, you know, if Tisha asked for her advice, she would give her the advice. And I'm just like, you want us to really believe you don't interfere, but we're always seeing you on TV interfering. Like, I don't know who you're saying that to, but we don't believe it. But okay, if that's what makes you sleep at night, that's okay. That's okay too. She did also kind of mention she was wondering about Arian and found out she doesn't have a mother in her life, so that explains the way she acts, the way she does. And now, I'm not going to be, I don't want to be rude or anything. And I do agree with Wanda to an extent in the sense that it's not just the fact that she doesn't have a mother in her life. I think she also doesn't have the right people in her life. And her world and life sort of kind of revolves around Martell Holt, in my opinion, because I just feel like, think about it. Think about some of the people that Arian decided to trust. Carson Blue, right? Somebody she met on the internet, that and then developed a friendship with, and then started telling all her business, including potential, you know, illegal activities about the sex tape thing. And then original straight no chaser. I don't know the story about how they met over there. But my thing is like, why do you think she keeps getting drawn to people um and telling them all her business? And it's like, you keep choosing these people and telling all your business. Now with Carson, I'm glad she told the business because it needed to be said. Um, but at the same time, it's like, I just don't think she has the right people around her. People that will tell her you're digging yourself in a hole. Or maybe she doesn't listen, right? Because sometimes you do have people around you that will tell you you're digging yourself in a hole. What you're doing is not acceptable. This is not how you should be moving. But if you don't listen, then you don't listen. That's on you, right? Um, and so I just think it's one of those like sad situations where I really like, I'm one of those people who wish like you could shake Arian a little bit, shake her into reality. Like, how many years are you going to waste with this guy? You know, I feel bad when I see women wasting their youth, wasting their effort, wasting their time on men that don't deserve them, right? And I'm not saying Arian is innocent, because I think Arian has significant problems, which is why it continues, right? Which is why the cycle continues. I think she has developed an obsession for Melody as well, which is why the cycle continues. But at the same time, I wish that she would just wake up and realize this is toxic. Let me get some therapy for this, and let me leave this man and this situation alone. I don't know if it will ever happen. Um, I don't know if it will ever happen. But I definitely hope that one day. Oh, my mouse slid off my table. And then my malt almost slid off as well. I'm like, guess which one I went for? I had to protect my malt first. I'm not out here. I'm like, the mouse, if it breaks, I can buy another one. That malt, if it pours, I would be so hurt. So no, I saved my malt during the end. Side chick union, absolutely. That's what it's given. Side chicks unite. Please hit that like button as you come in. Please hit that like button. You have heard it here. Please hit that like button. Thank you guys. Okay. Hotel Martell Hotel is living in the Section 8 house with coleslaw for now. That's his life. Oh my gosh. Is this confirmed or is this alleged? Let's just say alleged. Oh my gosh. Is that really how things are going downhill? Like, that is a huge fall from grace. Huge fall from grace. And then Melody is over there living her best life. Do you hear me? Living her best life. Happy, winning, getting, getting purchases, doing the dang thing. Mm-mm-mm. Rasputia is full of ish. Because soon as Rasputia Jr. starts with the fake tears, she goes running to mommy like her mom is bad. Yep. And I think she's used to mommy fighting her battles, right? If mommy is always fighting every time you say jump, then of course, who's going to run to mommy? You know? Because it's like, if you want mommy to pull up, all you got to do is go over there and like, oh, mommy, this thing happened. And I think that's what she has been doing. And I think she has played that game very, very well for such a very long time. And she continues to play the game. I think that's really what it is. So yeah. He said he was moving in peasant. I saw something a few weeks ago saying he can't have a living with him because they aren't married. Yes, I saw something about that as well. I think I even covered that as well. Oh, Bajan is cracking me up. Let me put that comment on the screen, guys. That would be some good merch to sell. Side cheeks unite. Yep. Literally side chicks unite. The only problem is like most of us on this call are not side chicks, right? Most of us are not side chicks. So it's like, how are we gonna be out here wearing side chicks unite? But if we could sell it to them and have Arian Curry wearing it, and then she can give it to the girl that was in the interview, and then they can find the other 20 women and give them the give them the t-shirts. Well, sell them the t-shirt because we're not doing it for free. And then everybody can be out here with the side chicks unite except us. Maybe we'll do like wifeys unite because no side chicks over here, honey. The R&R crew, we are wives, honey. We do not be doing the side chicks thing. But that would actually be funny. I'm not gonna lie. That would be funny, and that would be some. We probably would make some good money selling some side chicks unite t-shirt. Let us know in the chat. Will you buy the side chicks unite t-shirt? Bajan will be in charge of like making them. I know you do some good ass graphics with that as well. That would be so funny. Still, side chicks unite. Rosalind says he can get in trouble for that. Yes, yes. Apparently, he can get in trouble for that if he's out here living with the woman. Um, but who knows what they're really doing, right? But if truly he's leaving the kids at home to go over there, so that means they're probably not living technically under the same roof. So I'm not sure where the other one is living, but they're probably not technically living under the same roof. The Full Armor, I love that name, by the way. It's very, very nice. It reminds me of like the Bible, but yeah, love it. We all know Wanda is ignorant. Say it louder. In the words of Queen Sheba, say it louder now. But yeah, like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We see it, we hear it. That's really what it is. It's not shocking. It's like when we hear it again, it's like a reminder. It's like, yo, this lady or this woman does not stop. Mm-mm-mm. So Rosalind said, how can he get in trouble? Laws are different to the UK. If you are in social housing, your partner can only stay 3 nights a week. If you own a house, no problem. Oh, this is interesting. I'm very, very curious as to what that is. But yeah, what I know, or let me caveat that, is in the past I've heard of situations where, like, in a court order, when there's like little kids, not in the UK by the way, this is like in the US, right? When they have little kids in the house, they could say something about you can't you can't have you can't have your partner over there at the house overnight whilst the kids are there. So sometimes there's stuff like that. I think the court case with Ken and Trish also had something like that as well. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I'll be curious to see what Rosalind says. Bap says, wasn't that Ken and Trish who couldn't live together because of Marquez's young daughter is still in the house? Exactly, Babs. That's exactly what I was trying to say as well. Um, so I wonder if that is like a standard. And I remember when I talked about it and I was like, oh, that's not something that I'm used to over here in the UK. And I then saw people in the comments saying to me that that is something that they had in their court order in the US and is pretty standard. So I do wonder if that's really what it is. And it's like a pretty standard order where when there's like a young kid or young kids, unless you're married to the partner, you can't have the partner over there. In some court orders, basically, I set out in some court orders. Got the blueprint to sell to side chicks. Ooh, yes, just go over there to Ariane, hit her up and say like, "Oh, hi Ariane, just following the interview that you did where you wanted to create a safe space for side chicks. We've come up with a merch which we think you would like. We'd love for you to plug it in. Not me giving you the email, honey. Make sure you run me my coins." But wouldn't it be funny if she actually buys the t-shirts? Like, I feel like one of us needs to do it just for fun and then reach out to her and see if she really would buy the t-shirts. That would be hilarious. Mm-mm-mm. Funny as hell. I say that because he is the owner of the home. If she has Section 8, he is committing fraud. Oh, interesting. Okay. To be honest, I don't really know much about the Section 8 thing. Um, but I have heard that being said before, so I'm not really sure about Section 8. The UK system, yeah, it's definitely very different from what you guys have over there. So it is very, very interesting. I see that as well, but did we see something that pauper and peasant can't live together? Yeah, I think there was something about pauper and peasant can't live together. Because I remember, I think either I talked about it or someone said it on the live and then I talked about it. Or like we just kind of mentioned it in passing somewhere. Like I have a vague recollection of there being something that they can't live together. And then I remember when we're doing the court papers for the custody case, right? I remember there was something about him allegedly leaving the children, or something like that, and then coming back, I think in the early hours of the morning or something along those lines, which then gives me the impression that he was out here maybe living somewhere separate from Arian, because he reminded me of when in COVID everyone was locked down in the house and he said he was going to the gym, not knowing the gym was Arian, right? So I do wonder about that, to be honest. But yeah, I think maybe there might be something saying they can't live together, at least until they are married. Also, if you remember, a lot of what he kept saying recently has been giving the impression he wants to get married. And look, it's been like, why are you trying to marry? Why are you trying to marry somebody, right? Like, or why are you trying to marry her all of a sudden? So I would not be surprised if that is why. Yeah, Bajan is like me. Us YouTube, us UK folks, what is Section 8? We do not know. I suspect it's something, well, maybe let me not assume. But if I was going to guess, I would say it's maybe something, some sort of government assistance kind of thing. That would be my assumption. But I'm sure somebody in the comments will correct it if I'm wrong. Yes, I got you. I got you. Let's make our money. Side chicks unite. Let's make our coins, honey. But yeah, like we definitely have to have a watch party for this thing. We just have to figure out when to do the watch party um so we can watch the video of Ariane Curry that interview that she did with alleged side chick and watch that back again and talk about it. I think that would be really fun. I would have said we can do it today, but I don't know for certain that she's not monetized. And if she is monetized, then I wouldn't want to play the whole thing. I would want to probably go back and like get timestamps so that like we can then play the right and go through the right bits instead of like wasting time and then getting a copyright strike. I'm just like, I've been doing well with no copyright issues, so I'm trying to keep it that way, hen. But it would be a fun thing for all of us to do together. But you guys must promise to get some popcorn or get a good snack whilst we have our watch party for the interview. Okay, so let's move on to some Potomac, Hans. Let's move on to some Potomac. So what I'm going to do, I do have something I want to play for you guys. So let me just get it first. Um, Side points, I have a bone to pick with Uber. So someone sent me a gift card today, right? But they don't live in the UK. So they sent me a gift card, and Uber is saying that they can't change the currency from the person's currency into pounds. And I'm like, what do you guys mean? So for that reason, I can't use the gift card in this country. Like, how crazy is that? Isn't that just so disappointing? But anyway, just weirdness. So I'll probably leave this to talk about this bit later, but let me show you guys this because I want us to watch it together. So let me share my screen. Let me read one last time because I can see some comments. So let me read the comments before we move on to Potomac. Side chick unite and Liabetes wine. Liabetes wine has a nice ring to it. I'm not gonna lie. Wanda, why is you so worried about Melody? Yeah, it's pressed about what Melody has going on. Talk about your daughter and her toxic ass marriage. Everything but the main thing we want to know about. Yes, ma'am. Section 8 pays your rent for you. That's why if he owns the home, he shouldn't take her Section 8. Exactly. So some sort of government assistance. Thanks, Rosalind, for explaining it. It's very, very good to know exactly what Section 8 means because it has come up a few times. I've seen it in like chats and stuff, so it's good to know what it actually means. Amg says, Wanda, don't talk about Melody, okay? She's doing good. She's really bossed up. She's not thinking about you. She don't talk about you. She's too old to keep worrying about Melody. Wanda, worry about your own daughter. What about your daughter's husband being checked out? Okay. Amg is not playing with Miss Wanda tonight. Do you hear me? Wanda or Wanda's downplaying Melody. If she wanted to, they would have been trying to bring Melody down for years, and it's not happening. The ditch all digging for her, you all fell in it. Bajan says, "Oh, that's like here in the UK. If the social paying your rent, you can't have anyone except your kids living with you." Yes, indeed. Wanda can't play Melody's win in court because Melody going to always win in court. She don't need to be worried about Melody. She needs to be worried about her own daughter trying to hold a marriage. Yes, yes, yes. Amg is hitting the nail on the head. She also says she is firing it really quickly. I love this. All of them was out here cheating. Martell just got sloppy and caught birds of the feather flock together. Tisha can talk about Melody's marriage, but Melody can't talk about her marriage. Yes, 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 and yes. Melody's off the show, been off since January, and her name is still ringing bells. They don't get no content if they don't talk about Melody. She's the face of the city. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely agree. I do think that that's what it is, because if we're talking about their lives and stuff, it doesn't really get as much views as one conversation about Mel, and the people are here to watch. So that's just the reality. And I think these people also know about that. And that's why everybody's trying to cash in and make some money off Melody's name, really. Okay, on that note, let's move on to Potomac. But yeah, replay gang and anyone that's just joining us, please continue to leave your comment in the live chat. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Okay, so for those of you who may not know, Gizelle and Robin have a podcast called Reasonably Shady. And so they're now giving their feedback on, they're giving their feedback on Wendy's arrest. So let's hear it. So, as always, to avoid being flagged for any copyright issues, I'm trying to keep whatever I make tonight on YouTube, please. I will have to keep pausing to talk as well, to give my commentary in between. So, if you guys want to just listen to that by itself without my commentary, then you're not in the right place. But shout out to Mr. Housewives. Let's go.
I immediately open Instagram to see these mugshots, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yep. That was definitely my vibe as well. When I first saw the mugshots, I'm like, what the hell? What is going on? I was shocked. Just like Gizelle said, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the times where I'm like, yeah, Gizelle, I was shocked too.
Yes. My God. My God. So then I immediately open Instagram.
You know what I don't like, though, is the way she seems to be smiling about it. Oh, I immediately did. I'm like, girl, you seem a bit excited. And that's the bit I don't like. But, you know, it is what it is. She ain't said anything that I disagree with so far, at least.
To see these mugshots, and I'm like, oh my God. Yes. My God. My God. So then I immediately open Instagram to see these mugshots, and I'm like, oh, I saw that picture. I was like, what on earth?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? I mean, that was the biggest. It was so shocking. Just it was shocking. See their mugshots.
Yep. And I think this is where, like, you know, for a second, it feels at least from Gizelle's face, it kind of looks like she deeped it. Like, this is where you see the mug shots. Like, this is where ish is getting serious, my G.
And then it was kind of weird because the mug shots were like a little sinister looking. Like, well, why is Wendy laughing? Right. Why is there like a smirk? Okay. So my thinking is like, she probably was like,
to be honest, this is exactly what we were discussing. It felt like she looks like she had a smirk on her face, and it's a little bit like, it's very diabolical looking, like, oh, I did that ish, you know, like that's the look that it's given. Not saying that she did, but it has a very diabolical, sinister look. So I'm not, you know, on this one, we may not like the messengers, but I don't disagree with anything these people have said so far. Can't even lie. Okay, well, I don't want my mugshot to look like, I want to at least like smile in my mugshot, but I think maybe they didn't catch her at the right time. Like, you know, like, I think she was trying to smile and they just, you know, just took it. Psh, like, they didn't even give her a chance to get ready. Psh, here. And then Eddie looks high. Like, I was like, as a kite.
as
Yes.
happy Eddie.
Yep. We've talked about it. Eddie looks high. He looks like he was really on that happy Eddie. Definitely. At least we know the happy Eddie works because he looked high. Not gonna lie.
Eddie was a happy
Yes.
Eddie. Okay.
He was high on his own supply. I saw that picture. I was like, what? On anyway, I mean, first I want to say I am highly shocked, surprised, and disappointed.
Totally.
Yep. I definitely think like the way she has described it is genuinely how majority of people felt. It's like shocked, disappointed, surprised. It's like a feeling of multiple emotions coming over you at the same time because you see someone that seemed like an epitome of excellence, right? You don't expect them to do something as sinister as this, of all the things that could have happened, right? And so I'm not gonna lie, so far I don't disagree with what these people are saying. I really don't.
By these charges,
if I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, if everything that is in these documents is true, so of course you're guilty and innocent until proven guilty. But if everything in these charging documents is true, I'm highly disappointed. And then I just have so many questions, like why? Yeah. Why do we feel the need to do this?
Why?
Yeah.
That is my biggest question. Like I immediately thought, first of all, huge disappointment, sad, right? Because this is so sad for their children, guilty or innocent.
Yep, exactly that. And I really appreciated that Gizelle brought the kids into it because I think sometimes we can get like really in enamored or like, oh, salacious drama and all of that. But like at the end of the day, the kids, right? So if it's true, the kids are going to be affected. If it's not true, the kids are also going to be affected because the kids have to watch their parents get arrested. They have to see the mugshots on the internet. They have to see commentary about Appy Eddie. They have to see commentary as to how we feel like the case has been handled. I don't know how much censorship they have on what the children can see, but so far it's not really looking good, bruv. I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking good. It definitely feels like there's just too much. There's just too much conversation.
Parents were removed from their house and brought down to a police station and charged. They have mugshots. That is, I'm sure, super scary for their children.
Anyway, I mean, first I want to say
definitely do not wish that on my worst enemy because it just sounds intense. Like as children thinking about like your parents in that way, especially when you think of your parents almost like superheroes. You think that your parents can never do some dumb-ish like that, and then to find out that your parents may have done some dumb-ish like that, it's like, what are we doing? And so yes, I definitely feel like it's a very sad case all around, not gonna lie. Definitely a very, very sad case all around. Okay, let's keep playing.
I like a lot of people are hung up on like the insurance claim, which number one, I just thought was not really smart to try to file $450,000 in insurance. That's a red flag for any insurance company. Like they're definitely going to do their due diligence and, look into it because that's a lot of money. And I think insurance companies, it's their responsibility to investigate.
Yep. And insurance companies do not want to pay a dime to you. So, especially if the claim is higher than an average claim, absolutely they would be trying to investigate. They need to make sure that this is legitimate. This isn't somebody just trying to take their money that they don't want to pay regardless, right? Like these people do not want to pay nothing. So anything to be able to get away from paying is what they're looking to do. And that's just the reality of things. That is what they're going to do. And so I just think like it is very sad that sadly, she got caught up in this mess. I really, really hope for their sake that I don't even know what I hope for, honestly. I just for the sake of the children, I just hope things go well and they don't spend the rest of their lives in prison, really.
I'm more caught up on staging the robbery. That's what
Yeah.
I'm.
Oof. Robin is saying all the right things, I'm not gonna lie. Bad messengers because of all of the things we know about these two people, but the questions, the concerns, all of these things are things that we have raised ourselves in the past. And so they're not saying things that we are completely shocked about. They're saying things we've talked about, we've addressed on the show.
Caught up on, like, dang, like, y'all really were like running through, going around your house, making the place look disheveled and taking stuff out of it. And like, where'd you put the stuff? Did you put it in a U-Haul? Did you put it in a storage locker? Like, that's the part that I'm like caught up on. Like, damn, like,
Yeah.
really, y'all really did that. If, what the police are saying is true. I want to say, a lot of people are hung up on like the insurance claim, which number one, I just thought was not really smart.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like in this case these people are eating and leaving no crumbs.
I'm like, whoa. And then just not really thinking it through and thinking that the police are gonna.
Robin said a very important point. They were not thinking it through. And I really feel like that is the exact scenario that has happened here. It is obvious that they were not thinking it through. Because I don't know what world, if these people were thinking it through, I don't know what world where the way things have panned out and allegedly staging things was the right way to go. They must have really been desperate because there's no way.
Just go with the story of, oh yeah, someone came through this unlocked window, but there's no traces of any type of like disturbance in the yard or on the deck or in the bathroom, like no trace of dirt, no trace of the roof pebbles and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
I know,
because
Interestingly enough, it's like Giselle interrupted her there, but I don't know, sometimes when you're doing a podcast with somebody, there's bound to be a little bit of interruption, as long as it's not a lot of interruption, because then if it is, that would just be so annoying. I feel like Giselle and Robin are right. Yep, you're not wrong. They didn't take it too far. Yep, I feel like everything they said was pretty much on the point so far. I don't think they did too much. And to think a few seasons ago, Wendy told them to keep her husband's name out of their mouths. Yep. Did. But sadly, the husband's name is in the mud or in their mouths now because it's for public consumption. And that is so, so sad, honestly speaking. It just feels like everything has definitely changed for Wendy. And it's so sad because like seeing the kind of respect that everyone seems to have for Wendy, it feels like that is all going down the drain with this one stupid act that has now been done. It's honestly so sad. The lens seems so extreme. Absolutely. If it is true, of course, yes. And they're innocent unless they are found guilty later on, but innocent until proven guilty. So just to also flag that. Bap says they're both full of glee. Why do they have smiles on their faces talking about people going to jail? Absolutely, that's the thing I didn't like. Their verbiage, what they were saying, I agree with, because genuinely it was a stupid thing to do. We were all disappointed, we're all shocked. We didn't know where to even start with, and the extent to which things were done was just so extreme. So yes, I agree with all of those things, but at the same time I feel like the way They are smiling. The way they seem happy about somebody's misfortune is what I don't like. Because I just can't imagine covering or talking about something as serious as this and laughing about it. The way these people are, with so much joy on their faces. So yeah, that's the bit I don't like.
I don't mean to cut you off. In the defense of the police, that's their job. Their job is to do the work. Their job is to do the DNA. Their job is to sweep it all and figure, because this goes the ID and the CSI and all those shows. They show you how they sweep it. They figure it out.
You can tell Gizelle be watching those shows because she's like, oh, they sweep it, they figure it out. Like, okay, girl, do you be watching these shows or what? Because how do you know all the things these people be doing? But yeah, I do agree with her. The job of the police is to do what police do. They have to investigate, get to the bottom of when any crime is reported. So just because they don't really act when certain crimes are reported doesn't mean that sometimes they don't choose to do their due diligence, especially when they feel like something is off.
Retrace the steps of a would-be robber. And so if you have someone coming through your window on the second floor and they went back out that window, you're telling me they took 57 items out the window? I'm like, whoa. And then
I'm not gonna lie, 57 items, if that's true, I don't remember it being 57. That sounds like a lot. Like 57 items is way too many items to claim and think that these people are going to want to pay you.
Not really thinking it through and thinking that the police are going to just go with the story of, oh yeah, someone came through this unlocked window, but there's no traces of any type of like disturbance in the yard or on the deck or in the bathroom, like no trace of dirt, no trace of the roof pebbles and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, it doesn't make sense. That's why I feel like it's definitely a rookie mistake. And I like to think that the fact that everything wasn't staged properly is also to show that this is a rookie mistake. This ain't something that these people be doing. These people are not casually looking and sitting down thinking, oh my God, how can we defraud the system? So they clearly do not know how to do it, because if they knew how to do it, they would have done it way better than this. This is obviously, very, very much obviously not done properly. So if it was staged, then they did a very poor job of staging that. Bajin says they never liked Wendy, Monique, Candice, and the other lady from season 1. And Karen, yep. And they did not like nobody. I remember, I think they did a flashback of Gizelle from the last episode or something, where Wendy tried to hug Gizelle or something, and Gizelle was like, no hugs or something like that. And it was just too much. I was like, girl, what is this venom for? So I will say I'm not surprised that, Gizelle and everybody seems to be having so much joy, that stuff has gone left with Wendy and her husband. It's like, for a lot of people, they kind of feel like they wanted to bring Wendy down a few notches, and sadly, with this whole incident, they feel like this is their opportunity to bring her down a few notches. So it's very, very sad. Bajan says, amateurs, absolutely. That much is obvious. So hopefully the judge will consider that if they do end up being found guilty and then they're being sentenced, and realize that they are definitely amateurs. They did not even try hard enough, right? So hopefully, I don't know, honestly. So sad.
Yeah, I know, because in the I don't mean to cut you off. In the defense of the police,
and like, there's no just
wait a minute. Where'd you get 57 from?
That's how many items they claimed.
Robin clearly has been reading. Robin clearly does not like Wendy, because Robin is like, I'm gonna read into the case. Because I did not even remember it was 57 items. But somehow Robin seems to know this detail, which gives me the impression Robin was like, I am following the story. Robin has made this her personal business, honey. Mm-hmm.
Ciao. I can't. 57?
Yes.
I thought
That is extreme. Like, you know, that is very, very extreme. I'm not gonna lie.
It was 15. I thought it was
No, the 15.
what? 50?
Exactly. That's why it seems so stupid. Like, how? Yeah, so super at the start of the conversation, it seemed a little bit like the way they were saying, like, oh, we found out that the way they were saying, they were really like, it seemed like they were really smiling as they were talking about it. That's where we get it seems like they were taking joy from out of it. It was more at the start. I think the laughter about the 57 I can understand, because 57 is so bloody long. Like, what were you thinking? I'm not being funny, right? So yeah, with that one, I get it. Only she didn't her only she didn't her court, but allegedly was in Grizzle. Oh, I missed that. I don't think I get it. Only she didn't get caught. Oh, right. Only she didn't get caught, but allegedly wasn't Gizelle. Ooh. When she was the first lady, the church with holy. Oh. And also roommate Robin when she owed taxes. I think Joanne one said she needs to sort it. Oh, right. So you're basically saying like there were other items, right. That they've had their own allegations. Yeah, interesting. Um, yeah, I don't really know anything specifically about those ones. I think the tax one kind of seems familiar, but I'm not really sure about the first lady thing. Yeah, I know like she was married to that man, what's his name? Pastor Jamal or whatever his name was. But I can't remember the bit about the first lady stuff. I saw the press conference and he said 57 items. Mad. The thing is, I watched that press conference too, but I did not remember that. I may have addressed it then, but it's just something that never stopped. But 57 items is a lot. Oh my god. That is why they okay. Allegedly. That is why if truly they did it, they were able to find 15 items at the house, allegedly. Because if not, it is so hard to remember all 57 items. I'm not being funny. But if you have 57 items, how can you remember all the items? So I'm really not surprised if they said they found some of the items. Nobody can keep track of 57. That's why if they were going to do that, they should have just chosen a number that was easy to keep up with, not 57. But yeah.
57.
57. No, the 15 there were when the police came to arrest them and they did a search warrant, they found 15 items that were on the insurance claim in their house. That's the 15.
Yes, I knew that. Okay. 50 claimed 57 items?
Yes. And like there's no just
Wait
nothing.
a minute. Where'd you get 57 from?
That's how many items they claimed.
Yep. I definitely feel like that was I feel like they could have been shadier. I think that they didn't take it as low as they could have. I feel like I think they were reasonably shady on this one. I'm not gonna lie. I think normally I would have expected Gizelle and Robin to take it a bit lower, but I think they were all right. All things considered, they didn't take things entirely too far. So I will say they didn't do too badly. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't do too badly. I will say that. Bajan says, don't forget Wendy got 4 degrees, and those 4 degrees did not help her in doing this. And that's the saddest part of the whole thing. Because it's like you didn't put all those 4 degrees to use in this situation. Like, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, where were all those degrees then? So sad. Okay, so since we're already on the topic of Potomac, did you guys watch the latest episode of Potomac? Put it in the chat if you've watched it, and so that maybe we can talk about that a little bit. I just have a few thoughts here and there on that. So put it in the chat if you've watched Potomac. I personally feel like they need to stop putting so much sneak peeks of Potomac out there. That's the first thing I want to say. Because I feel like I low-key felt like I had thought that I had watched the whole episode until I realized that no, you watched the sneak peek. You haven't watched the whole episode. But out of that episode, I saw at least 2 sneak peeks, or 2 or 3, that was practically a huge chunk of the show. So I really think that they need to stop with the sneak peeks, because the sneak peeks are full on, like, it's not really like a trailer type thing. It's like they're proper giving us a good chunk of the information. And I think that's not helpful, because like when I watched that, I just kind of felt like, do I want to come back on this show to talk about it? Do I want to come on live with you guys and talk about stuff that we already talked about last week when we watched the sneak peeks together, right? And so I just thought maybe just like maybe not talk about it, or like, you know, sort of like plug bits in there here and there. I would say the first thing that I wanted to talk about is Kay is pissing me off. Kay is irritating my guts. She really is irritating me. I feel like Kay, I don't know what is going on with Kay this season, but I do not like whatever it is that is going on with Kay this season. I'm gonna need her to get it together, ma'am. Get it together. I don't know. Speak to the people about it. Speak to your therapist about whatever it is that is going on with you this season. But it looks like she has a stank face almost every time and is giving bad energy. And so I just don't really understand what that is and what is going on with Kay right now. Because when Jazzy came, she had a stank face on. Jazzy is meant to be your friend. She walks in, you have a stank face. And I'm like, what is going on with this girl? Why do you have that face on when your so-called friend walks in a room? When you should be like bigging up your friend, like, oh, hey girl, you look good. Instead, she just looks like, why are you here? And that made me feel like Kay is definitely one to watch, baby. And if they're just giving her bad edits, then who did you offend, Kay? Because it's definitely giving you a one to watch. You are giving us concerning behavior. We're definitely seeing some very serious concerning behavior from Kay. I will say that. And so I will say when Jazzy and Kay got into it, I think that it was fire for fire, because Jazzy said, Kay, well, I'm going to let you off because, you know, Kay, you're going through a lot with Greg. And that was definitely a low blow. And it's funny because people didn't really pick that up as a low blow. But then when Kay then flips it over and said, well, you're the one marrying a man who had 2 kids on you. And everyone was like, oh, that's a low blow. I'm like, that is definitely giving a bar for a bar. It's giving fire for fire, because it's like, if you are out here saying I'm going through things with my man, and I know that your man had a baby on you, then it's like, okay, let's go bang for band. Right? So I definitely think that I definitely get the impression that, yeah, I know people didn't really like that Kay responded in that way, but I'm like, I'm not being funny. If you come out here and bring up my relationship, then your relationship is probably may not necessarily be off limits. And that's just that. That being said, I think Kay, there's definitely something going on with Kay, because Kay had a stank face as soon as Jazzy walked in. And I did not like that. Kay is becoming unlikable this season, and I don't like that. Jazzy seems more fun, if I'm being completely honest. And we like fun girls, right? People that can have fun, people that can be lighthearted, have a good old time. And we're not seeing that from Kay. We're seeing that from Jazzy. You haven't watched the season. Super says you've watched it. They should have brought Jazzy instead of Keirna. Do you know what? I've heard a lot of people say that recently, and I've seen a lot of like comments about that. And I'm in two minds about it, in the sense that I feel like Jazzy, yes, may have come up a little bit like sweet and all of that and like fun, but at the same time, would she give us a storyline? Would she also begin to overwork and overperform for her peach the way it seems that Keirna is, right? Because I feel like in the past, Keirna was more likable when it didn't seem like she was really trying to audition for that peach. So I feel like if Jazzy comes on, what's not to say that Jazzy will then try to start auditioning or begin to act like Kay right now. So that's the bit that I'm a bit worried about, because I feel like all these people always act like they really want to be on the show and the show would be perfect for them. Then when you then have them on the show, they then start to misbehave and act just crazy immature the way Kay has been. So I will say I am a little bit concerned about that. Bajan says Kay seems to be acting like Pavement, Portia's ex-friend. Yep. It's like, why does it seem like you want to have beef with every single person? Like, what is going on? Why is it that every single moment it's like, I don't understand what is going on? It just seems unnecessary. Nobody has time for that kind of beef. There's no need for all of that. Now, in terms of the they didn't give us a chance to get to know her. Yes, I do agree they didn't give us a chance to get to know her. I wish that they would have given us a chance to get to know her, but I suspect they felt that her story wasn't interesting enough, so they cut her off the chopping board. Because if I'm not mistaken, last season she did have a peach, but somehow barely was shown. So I think that Bravo felt like she wasn't interesting enough, so they completely cut her or most of her scenes in editing. I feel like that's what that was um with Jazzy, to be honest. Now, I know you guys may not like what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I was tickled by the fact that Stacey did not get a name badge. Not because she didn't get a name badge, but because the way Gizelle was explaining it in the confessionals made me laugh. I don't know what it was. It was just something about the way she said. And then she tried to then make it seem like the reason she didn't give her a name is because she doesn't know Stacey. Who's that her or something like that? I'm like, Gizelle. Gizelle definitely gives Mean Girl vibes, not gonna lie. And the reason why I loved the fact that Stacey wasn't given a name badge is because the way Stacey even took it, Stacey took it like a G. She did not look bothered about it. You see how some people, you can tell they would be hyperventilating about the fact that they didn't get a name badge. She just seemed like, oh, Gizelle didn't give me a name badge, so I didn't get not even a name. Maybe at the end of the trip, I'll get a name on my robe. I love the fact that that was the vibe. Instead of being pressed about someone not putting you on a name badge, like Miss Now was, it's like, just take it for what it was, right? I wasn't on the name badge, and that's okay. Maybe better luck next time, right? So I love like housewives who are able to have fun and don't take things too seriously. Of course, it did come up at the conversation on the table later on, but I love that they were just, it was just, everyone was just able to stand in, stay where you are, and we're not friends, and that's just what that is. It was a statement, and statement was well received. Now, I did also want to flag that I love Tia's family. Tia's family will have to be my favorite storyline from The Real Housewives of Potomac this season. I love how honest they are. Like, they're not putting on for the cameras. They're like, I will just be myself. And that's exactly what they have been doing. And it's very, very entertaining to watch. Super says, aren't they going to show her wedding? I think it'll be interesting to see if they show her wedding. They probably will. Maybe like invite some of the girls over there so they can like show her wedding, especially if they are considering bringing Jessie next season, or Jazzy next season rather. So they will definitely show it. Gizelle forget she didn't like it when her and the roommate was giving top floor on Wendy's strip. Yes, to be honest, Gizelle is a problematic person. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah, and sounds like Gizelle. Gizelle can do. She will do the same thing to you, but if you do it to her, she is not going to be pleased. So yeah, I definitely agree. I didn't like what Gizelle did. It went too far. It was like hazing. Absolutely was hazing. That is definitely what she was trying to do. She was definitely trying to make her feel some type of way, feel isolated in the group. But what I loved about it was Stacy did not give an F. Stacy was not going to feel isolated. She was like, I'm part of the group as you are. So no, you will not be chasing me off the show. Okay? And that's what I love about it. It's almost like all the antics that Ashley and Gizelle are trying to ruffle Stacey's feathers are not working. And that is what I absolutely love about that. But yeah, back to Tia's family. Tia's family have me cracking up. For me, the highlight of this episode was when the son was basically saying he's trying to get adopted. He does not want to be in the family no more. And I'm like, why? Because they're trying to have this boy out here washing and doing house chores. The poor boy is like, I'm giving it up. I need to be adopted somewhere else. I just found that so funny. And for me, it was even more funny that Tia was basically saying that don't get adopted before Sunday because I'll miss you so much. And I just thought that was hilarious. It's like the banter, the lightheartedness, being able to tell, be honest with your parent or your mom about how you're feeling. I just really loved it. It was very, very entertaining. I love how Tia was there, like kind of low-key sad about missing her daughter's birthday, and her daughter looked like she didn't really care. Her daughter was just like, please, whatevs. Like, I could care less whether or not you were here or not, or here or there, as long as I'm happy with my friends. And so I definitely felt like that was that was definitely a very funny moment on Bravo. And so I will say one thing I'm gonna give Bravo credit for this season. Tia is the best new addition they've had in some time. I think before that I would say Stacy, and then now it is Tia. The rest are not doing anything for me. Keirna is not doing nothing for me. But then Loki, I wonder how would Tia get on if Keirna was in a better space, because now it feels like it's Keirna and Angel versus the rest of the group. So yeah, I am curious to see how would Tia navigate maybe a new season where the dynamics are a lot different. Okay, so let's talk about the Wendy business. I felt like Wendy clocked Angel. Wendy clocked her completely, and I was so here for it. Because it's like Angel always has so much energy for Wendy. If Wendy says one thing, Wendy looks a certain way, Wendy responds and says something, that is it. Angel will pipe up and turn all her wrath towards Wendy. But Gizelle basically called her a catfish and was out here saying she doesn't look like her pictures. And Angel was mute. Angel had nothing to say. She was just there, taking it, laughing about it, acting like it ain't a big deal. I never heard nobody call me a catfish before. But if someone did, I would be upset. Or at the very least, I would be like, no, I'm not a catfish. I gained, I would be irritated and like properly defend myself very fiercely. So I just think it is very, very odd, to be honest, that like that was not done. But then when it comes to Wendy, it's just like all hell breaks loose straight away. No one wants to hear nothing. Super says, I like Tia. I don't like Angel or Stacy. Yep, I like Tia as well. Stacy, I don't really like the lies, if I'm being honest. So I'm not really, a fan of Stacy, but I do think that I like the lightheartedness that she brings to the show. How she doesn't really take it personally when the girls are like coming for her, because I think it just bounces off her quite well, which I think a lot of the new girlies need to learn, especially Kay. Wendy clocks in again at the table. Absolutely. I loved every minute of it. She was like, you have a different way of addressing me versus the way you address everyone else. Gizelle basically did this and you had no words for Gizelle. But Wendy, you had everything to say. You were ready to fight. So yeah, I definitely agree with Wendy about Angel. Angel is right. Well, Wendy is right that Angel and Kay were definitely talking about them previously. Angel and Kay were definitely talking about Wendy, because it's like, didn't you say, and you don't even like that B or something? Do you even like her? Do you like that lady? And it's like, girl, that means you've been talking about me. So Kay is coming across as fake. I'm not gonna lie. Kay is coming across as fake with the way she's handling Jazzy, with the way she's handling Wendy, and then and Angel and Kay have definitely been talking about Wendy. So I love how Wendy clocked in. Definitely likes that. Tia made me laugh in the clip when she said she was knackered. Yeah. She honestly, it was Tia scenes definitely like make me laugh. And I think it's also sometimes it's the way she says things that just makes like everybody just up in arms, right? Because when she was saying the tongue and a cheek and everybody on the table was just like, what? And it looks like also she was talking about if you want to have a problem with me, I'm not going to, jump in the dirt with you. I just loved how classy that read was. And it was like everybody at the table was clocking it. Ashley didn't even know what to say. It was like Ashley wasn't able to intellectually follow the conversation. But yeah, that is funny. Stacy lies like Mia. I agree. It just feels like, girl, why are you even lying? Like, what is the point? So yeah, I definitely think like Stacy, I'm with you on that. Stacy definitely lies too much. And that's the bit I don't like about Stacy, because for me, I like being able to know where you stand. I don't like to be like worrying or concerned about, are you lying? Am I sure you're lying? Are you not? Like, what is this about? So I definitely agree. I feel like it is low key. Um a little bit confusing. But yeah, you can't keep up with the lies. Does anyone think Stacey's contract is legit? I personally don't think it's legit. I feel like I would have expected something a little bit more sophisticated. But I do think that they did have some sort of arrangement. Not gonna lie, that's my perspective. What do you think? Kate is just miserable. Absolutely. And it's so sad because it's like, why are you so miserable? Like, what is going on? Is everything okay with you and Greg? Like you say it is? Because this season, you're definitely giving us like bad vibes. Like, even on the boat ride, I was expecting Kate to like get up and, have fun and stuff. And she had to go sit somewhere. It's like, girl, what is going on? What kind of season are you having, my love? You need to get it together ASAP. Because if not, you're gonna lose the people. Which then brings me nicely to what Angel had to say. Angel basically said, I have so many thoughts and feelings about the show. I'll wait until the end of the season to spill, however. So it sounds like she is not happy with the direction of the show. She's probably not happy with the edits of the show. Maybe the way people made her look, she didn't like. But whatever the case may be, I feel like Angel is not really coming in as a remarkable newbie, which is very sad because she does have the money, which will bring a little bit of luxury to the Potomac franchise a little bit compared to, like, you know, the other franchises. Potomac, the people don't really be having money, and that is okay. But Angel seems to have the coins like that. And so it would have been nice to be able to have somebody like that show up, um, to be honest. So I will say that. So it is low-key sad. But I don't think that Angel is acting like a good addition this season. So I'm gonna need her. If you want to be back on this show, you need to pull your weight. Now let's talk about the Braxtons really quickly before we call it a night. So let me share this first of all. Wanda got married, and the color seems to be like lavender. I think Tony looks good, of course. I didn't really like the dress Trina was wearing. The little flower girls did look good. Um, the suits seemed dapper as well. I did not know what this bang is. Like, what is that? What is going on? I see the blue locks with blonde locks in front. Like, I don't know what is going on over there. It's not cute to me. Yeah, I yeah, I would have been like, girl, you are not wearing that to my wedding. Please choose a color, honey. Because every time I look back at these pictures, I would have to see that blonde thing on your head, which does not look good. So no. But I guess she didn't mind it because she said nothing and had this girl out here with her blonde and blue hair. And the funny thing is, I bet like years later, she is going to be sad watching it, thinking, she would be over there watching it like, what are we doing with that? What was I thinking with that blonde? And why didn't nobody tell me? One of your nieces, aunties, somebody should have said something. You can't have that girl out here with that blonde wig or blonde locks in front, and then, oh yeah, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. I will say Tawanda looks good. Tawanda is giving body, yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. It's giving body. She definitely looks good. I will say that. She's always looks good in terms of like body and stuff. But yeah, I think that would be, it would be quite interesting to see. Does anything else interesting happen or not? Is this the end of it? Yeah. Anyway, that was just a slight detour from Tawanda, but this is where it gets a bit tricky. Let me share this with you. Can you see that? You see Tony's interaction with Birdman. Not Tony. Tama's interaction with Birdman. She literally just rubbed off the sweat off Birdman's head. I'm like, why are you doing all of that? People are already alleging that you slept with your sister's man. Why are you out here rubbing his sweat off his forehead? Like, what are you doing? And this is why I feel like low-key, Tama just likes the drama because you know what the people are saying about you allegedly sleeping with your sister's man or one of her exes, and you're now over there being seen with her husband rubbing off the sweat off his forehead. It's like nobody sent you on errands. Nobody sent you and gave you this freaking task to be patting his head. That seems very inappropriate, right? So of course the people were up in arms about it, pissed about it. And then someone was like, now, why was you on stage with your sister's man? She said, because she couldn't be there and she loved her husband, so I'm going to hold it down for her and my brother, the F. And I'm like, yeah, holding it down for him doesn't mean rubbing the sweat off his forehead. How about you give him the dang thing so he can rub it off his forehead himself? That just seems very, very inappropriate. It's like, what are we doing? It doesn't make any sense. Absolutely doesn't make any sense. Rubbing the sweat, acting like you're his wife. Like, what are you doing, sir? What are you doing? Doesn't make any sense. And then let's see what the people are saying. Someone said, "Where is Tony?" Good question. Tony can't be ever be nowhere. People do way too much. Can't even breathe properly without a scandal. Not a typical sister-in-law duties, but okay. Exactly. It's like there was no need for all of that. And especially if you know that people are already dragging you for allegedly stepping out and having the coitus with your sister's ex. And then you show up with your sister's husband and you're rubbing sweat off his forehead. What do you think is going to happen? And this is why I think like it's a case of you want drama, you want attention, because why else are you out here doing that if not for attention? I feel like that is all it's about. You want that attention and you're like, I'm going to get it one way or another. That's really what it's given. Because I don't know what world that it is okay for you to be out here um rubbing the sweat off your brother-in-law. It doesn't make sense. Now, there is one thing that I just saw. I haven't watched it yet, but I wanted to show you guys so we can go through it together. Miss Sherry Shepherd is talking about Angel catfishing. So let's see. Let's see what Sherry has to say. I have to keep pausing this one, of course. Ooh, she definitely, it definitely doesn't look like her, but at the same time I feel like people gain weight and look like a different person. I feel like pregnancy kind of sometimes can change the way a woman looks, so I'm low-key very skeptical about being here like giving Angel the business about what she looks like, to be honest. Ooh, stop the witness protection program. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm-mm. Honestly, it did not look like the girl that we saw on the show. It really didn't. And when she's talking about it's an old picture, it's no filter, it's no whatever. It's like, girl, even if it is an old picture, why are you still using an old picture when you look different now? If it's an old picture where you still look the same, then I would understand using it. But yeah, I would understand using it, but no. Mm-mm. You know, one thing I will say, I feel like the Potomac storyline this season seems a little bit relatable because it feels like something you would tell your friend, like, girl, the filters you are using on the internet needs to stop. Although the way they go about these conversations can be like very catty and mean girl-ish, but I do agree that yes, the filters got to stop. This level of filter, at least, or whatever it is, because she said she did not use filter, needs to stop. But like I said, I think some women do have a completely different face after having a baby. So it is possible. Okay. Angel, first of all, let me put this caveat out there. Angel is a very beautiful woman. Even right now, with the weight on, she looks good. She is a gorgeous, gorgeous woman. Let's just put that out there. So nobody's coming for Angel in terms of her actual looks. Is the way she's like, it's not filtered. Like, girl, we do not believe you. I don't even know if you believe yourself because Gizelle was like, babe, that's not you. Gizelle needs to be in timeout. Not the that's not you. I looked at her IG and all her pregnancy photos are filtered because this is the face on most of her pregnancy photos. Yeah. Wow. So do you think did she start like I don't even know. So do you think that she just edits her face to look like this? Um which is completely different from what she actually looks like? Or do you think like okay, maybe the further she got along in her pregnancy, she continued to gain weight and then her face changed? Like what do you guys think? Do you think that which one do you think is the real angel? The one in the picture or the one who is now who now looks a certain way? And do you think it's a weight gain thing or do you think she's always just over edited her pictures from day one? Let me know in the chat. Oh my god, Sherry Shepherd needs to be in timeout. She needs to be in timeout. They don't put the before and after picture right next to each other. They put it right next to each other. OMG. Ugh! It really doesn't look like the same person. I'm not gonna lie. It really did not look like the same person. This is terrible. Mm-mm. It really does not look like the same person. And people forget they got rolling hair hills of neck. Yeah, it does not look like the same person. Mm-mm-mm. And then the fact that they even now brought out all these different pictures with the red and all of that, it's like, girl, leave the girl alone, honey. And nose also seems like smaller in some of these pictures versus what they look like in the confessionals. Girl, that may have not been your intention, but Super says no, she didn't gain a lot of weight. It appears when she was pregnant. Oh. Okay, so now I do not know what's happened to Angel. Because if she didn't gain a lot of weight when she was pregnant, then that just means that maybe her face was never like this to begin with, and maybe it was filtered from day one. Because I don't know what else assigns weight gain or some sort of existing condition. Maybe it's one of those, but I don't even know any existing condition that I can say. But that would result in you looking like a completely different person like this. Mhm. Oh my gosh. Sherry is not playing. Sherry said it looks like she took some other person's picture. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm-mm. And the thing is, like, girl, you don't even need to do it. You're already with a husband, that seems to adore you. He rich. Like, what is going on? Like, what is the need for you to catfish or edit your pictures down like this? Like, what is going on? And the fact that nobody in your friend circle, family, nobody like gave you a heads up, like, girl, you need to chill with the filters. If I was going a little crazy with the filters, I would hope that my friends will pull me aside and say, baby, let me just tell you something. Please chill on the filters because you're out here looking like a different person. Yeah, that was the worst part. It's like, sis, just say, oh my God, I think I went a bit crazy on the filter. And then in the end, I liked the picture. I didn't even think it did look like me. I just thought, ooh, it's a nice picture. And then I posted it. Simple. Yeah, it's definitely given. Something was used. If it's not filtered, there was some editing that was done, but something was done because it does not look like the same person. Respectfully. Shari is using this opportunity to give a PSA. She is like, I'm gonna use this PSA to talk to all my friends that do the same thing that Angel does. Because it's like, no, you guys are doing too much. So now Sherry is like, let me tell all of y'all that like to do too much on your pictures. Stop that. But anyway. Woof. Oh my god. Sherry is not playing today, honey. Sherry said, no, no, I'm tired of you lot filtering everything. Enough is enough. She's not wrong. Like Nini the other day saying she hasn't brightened her skin and had a nose job. It's like I don't even know why the people be lying. It's like there is no need. Why are you lying? Like there is no need. The people know. The people have a feeling. The people can see with their eyes. They don't need to be deceived. I think she uses Facetune on all her photos. I think so too, because I feel like that's the only explanation, to be honest. I feel like that can be the only explanation because I know that Facetune sometimes like you can literally go a bit ham over smoothing your face and all that kind of all the different features that they do have. But yeah, it really doesn't look like her. She just needs to give it up, sis. This ain't you, and that is okay. Like whoever you are, you're a beautiful woman, but this does not look like you. I feel like if I saw this girl and yeah, there's no way. Like this is the one time where I can't believe I'm saying it, but I agree with Gizelle. You definitely do not look like your pictures at all. And I'm agreeing with Sherry because it's like, sis, you look like a completely different person. And then to try and gaslight us and say that, oh, it was not a filter, you didn't use filter. I'm like, girl, you're having us out here looking crazy. Because if we believe what you're telling us, then something ain't right. I even thought like, okay, maybe she gained a little bit of weight as well, and then filter and both together resulted in it. But from what we're looking at, it looks honestly like completely different people. If they tell me I'm going to be shooting with a person and they showed me a picture and they show looking completely different, I'll feel the same way. Absolutely. Yes, me too. I would be like, who and where is the person that I was meant to meet? And they're like, no, that's the person you're meeting. I would be so confused. Like, this same person, like, why doesn't she look like the picture? So I'm not surprised that Giselle did bring it up, but I think it's very, very telling that she had nothing to say. She didn't seem upset or anything. When Giselle says something, but when Wendy says something, it feels like that's the end of the world. So I definitely think that Keirna has been saying stuff privately, and honestly, that's the genesis of the problem. And I feel like Keirna is not to be trusted because if you're out here saying something about Wendy to Jazzy, who you also had a stank face about or stank face towards when she walked into the group to greet the group, it's given you don't want there to be any other brown colored girl on the cast, and I don't understand. Like you want to be the girl and everyone else needs to be doing what? Excuse me. I just think that is honestly I think is very, very weird the way Keirna has been behaving. So yeah. I am glad that somebody brought up the whole picture of Angel because I think if Giselle didn't bring it up, Giselle is clocked in this season. If Giselle didn't bring it up, I would not have known because I don't follow Angel on the socials. I would not have known this. But I would say Giselle is definitely working overtime in this season. Giselle is like, I will get my check. I will secure my check for the next year, honey. Period. Because I'm just like the way Giselle has been gathering the girls. I think initially I was thinking like how are the girls going to fare without Karen? But the girls have actually they've done okay without Karen. To be honest, I feel like they've actually. Of course, I'm gonna get a call. Even though my phone is meant to be on sleep mode and my laptop is on sleep mode, I don't understand, but I've come to accept it a little bit. I've noticed that it's usually WhatsApp calls that come in though, not like regular calls. I don't know if there's something to be said for that. But anyway, so yeah, I just think I can't remember what I was saying. There's nothing wrong with it, though. Gizelle doesn't know her well enough to say anything to her. Yes, I agree. But Gizelle also knows she's on a TV show. And Gizelle is like, I need to perform. I'm on this trip. I need to perform. Let me just bring this up. That's definitely the thing, the vibe I get with Gizelle. Gizelle is just trying to secure that bag. She's trying to come back next season. So if I gotta talk about this one, gotta bring up this, I'm gonna just do what the producers tell me. That's the vibe I get from Gizelle and Ashley. Those two people, that is what I get from them. Now, on that note, my lovelies, I am so tired. I need to go to bed and rest up. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. Thank you so much for making me feel better. We've had such a wonderful time. Thank you to everyone who has been in the chat. Shout out to Super. Shout out to Bajan. You guys are always consistently in the chat, and I really appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody as well. I can't go through all the names. Babs as well. I'm trying to remember some other names that came up. Shout out to everybody who joined. Amji, Rosalind, the Full Armor, and a bunch of other people that joined. I'm so sorry. I'm tired, so I can't really go through the chat and read through everything, but thank you so much. And yes, I do agree with you, Super, that Gizelle is producing. She is, so is Ashley. Those two people know what production needs, and they're willing to do what production needs. So it's like maybe production tells them, okay, we need them to talk about this, and then they're like, I bet. And then they get the girlies talking about whatever it is that they want the girlies to be talking about, or that production wants the girlies to be talking about, and then they do that. So it could be that. Anyway, on that note, my lovelies, to everybody in the replay gang that are listening, thank you so much for hanging. And please hit that like button and also let us know what you think in the comment section below. Bye, Super. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the rest of your night. And the replay gang, let us know, what are you drinking? Yeah, how's everything going with y'all? Let us know in the chat, everybody. Bajan says, thank you for another great night, R&R, and everyone else on here. You're welcome. Thank you for hanging with us. You are also part of the people that made it a wonderful live. So thank you so much for joining. I hope like something interesting comes up so that we can talk about it again, or come live again and talk tomorrow. If something happens that is interesting, I will come out and come talk to and hang out with you guys. I kind of like doing lives now. I remember when I first started YouTube, I was like, oh, I don't really like lives, because it's like I always wonder, is anybody gonna come, and what if there's not much to say? But you guys have made lives very fun for me because you guys are always interacting, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, just don't let Ashley sing again. Maybe for that reason, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna bring Ashley over here and have her sing to us. Have her sing Amazing Grace to us. But yeah, anyways, my lovelies, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just gonna get some rest. I think for me, next steps is chase some of these doctors, try and get some specialist, get a second opinion, just stuff like that is what I need to be doing tomorrow morning. But I should be free in the evening to hang out with you guys again, same time. But yeah, All right, my lovelies. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Bajan. Thank you, everyone. Bye.